Ladies and gentlemen, I am here tonight on the show, still working like this. I am so sorry. I am trying to get the thing fixed. I really am. I am trying the best I can to get the thing fixed. I want to say sorry to the fans, and to the fans, I'm sorry for everything I ever, I want to say sorry once again. I know I'm sure you guys don't like looking at my face this close. I don't like looking at my face this close. Well, maybe the ladies, but I don't know. The ladies throw that in the comment section, how many ladies watched the video. So maybe no ladies watched the video, whatever. Actually, I think I do. Come on, damn it. I just think they're shy. Anyways, who cares? Let's get tonight's show underway, or whatever. Right, see, focus, damn it. Alright, let's get this show underway. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are going to talk about the college football playoffs. So they are set. We have a final for next week. Georgia versus Alabama, two SEC teams. I am excited for this matchup. And what a game we had. I think we've been having lately in the college playoffs. We have a very good game and a very shitty game. So let's talk about the shitty games. So let's just get out of the way real quick. Alabama beats the shit out of Clemson, 24-7. Clemson was not a no-show. You could tell they were missing the leaders from last year that they have left now. They graduated. They either graduated and are working, or they moved on to the NFL. They really missed them. You could tell, Watson, the leadership at the quarterback position. This guy right here, I believe his name is Kelly. He sucks ass. As Coach Sweeney, you could look at him. He was frustrated. Alabama was just too physical defensively, as always brought it. It was, they met each other, the last 2 years. And this was the one year where you could tell that Clemson could not match up with Alabama defensively. They were just too big, too strong for Clemson to handle. And Alabama, to me, especially in the second half, completely takes over this game and wins this game easily, 24-7. I don't know why people were saying that Clemson's going to win this football game. I cannot believe that. To me, Alabama was a clear favorite to win this football game right here. There was no question about it. They are the more experienced and have the better talent. I cannot believe there were idiots thinking out there that Clemson had a chance to win this game. They were like, Clemson 24-25. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Kirk Hemstreet, supposedly one of the most smartest guys in college football, had Clemson winning the game. I cannot believe it. So many people had Clemson winning the game just because last year they beat them in the national championship. For the first time, Nick Saban lost in a national championship game. That doesn't really mean anything. Because why? Because a lot of those guys from Clemson left. Especially the Watson, the best player on the team, left. Mike Williams, their best wide receiver, left. How can you be so stupid to actually think that Clemson had a chance when just because they beat them last year? Yes, they beat them last year, but they had Deshaun Watson and they had Mike Wallace and they had some other guys on the defensive side. This year, neither of them were there. So nobody thought about this. Did people forget that in college you leave, and you only go to college for a few years and then you leave? It's not like the NFL where you fucking have a player for 10, 15 years. Players are only there nowadays only for 2 or 3 years and then they leave, So I don't know what happened. I'm sure people obviously knew that Watson and Wallace were not there anymore. Or Williams, whatever the hell his name was. But I was surprised how many people were picking Clemson. I could not believe it at all. I was going Alabama the whole time. And I to be honest, I am not surprised they won like this because you could tell they're just a better football team. You could tell. Jalen Hurts got experience from last year. Now we'll see what happens because now this is the game where they could lose versus Georgia. Georgia's a very good football team. By the way, tonight I was surprised they gave up so many points. What was it? They gave up 48 points. That defense of Georgia is better than that. And you can tell, I believe, only 31 of those 31 of those 48 points came in the first half. Then in the second half, they started slowing them down. So, that's a very good defense. So, that's going to be a good game right there between Georgia and Alabama. let's talk about the other game. Congratulations, Alabama. Nick Saban once again going to the national championship game. Let's talk about the other game. Sweeney, I'm sorry. You need it. Your team maybe in the few years when they get more experience. Right now, this team is too green. Anyways, let's talk about the rest. Let's talk about the other game. The game that the game that was the fun to watch. Georgia versus Oklahoma versus Georgia. This game, obviously the thing was Mayfield, the Heisman winner. Everybody said, is he a first round pick? Is he a first round pick? Let me tell you something right now. All right, let's get this straight. This guy will be a first round pick. Why? Because you always could use a starting quarterback in the NFL. You always could. If Paxton Lynch got drafted a few years ago by Denver out of Memphis, you don't think Mayfield, the Heisman winner, will get drafted in that first round? Trust me, he will. He will. You can never have enough starting quarterbacks in this league. So trust me when I tell you, the guy's talented enough, and you can never have enough starting quarterbacks in this league. Mayfield will be drafted most likely in the first round. Okay, let's get out of the way. Screw the talent. Yes, Josh Rosen's better. Yes, Lamar Jackson is better. But this man will find a way to most likely get drafted in that first round because you can never use not too many starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And people will be afraid if somebody else takes them, so they won't want to take them. Okay, now let's get it. So the thing about Mayfield has always been he plays in that 12th division, the defenses are very weak. And so how would he do against an NFL? How would he do against an SEC defense or an NFL defense? Well, tonight you saw it. They played in Georgia, which is in the SEC, and he put up 48 points. Now, I thought Georgia was not that defense in the first half that we've seen this year. I thought they were playing on their heels. They looked a little bit out of they looked a little bit flat. And then I thought in that second half was more of that Georgia defense that we all come to know would only eliminate them to 17 points in that second half. Now, but you got to give it to Mayfield no matter what. Mayfield put up 48 points. Yes, I believe was there a fumble? Yeah, they fumbled, they stripped the guy, and then he picked. So yeah, 48 minus 7, MC squared equals AC squared equals sheds 2 on a pilot hole on a stick. 41. So Baker Mayfield still put up very good points against this tough Georgia defense, SEC. So you got to give the guy credit where credit is due. Mayfield showed up tonight. He really did. So for those of you that say, no, he's on that big, he's on the 12-day conference, very weak, Well, tonight he played a very good defense, probably one of the best defenses he's seen all year in Georgia, and he showed up to play. So you got to give him credit. But man, Georgia just did not give up. At one point down, 31-14, and they just did not give up. I was like, mother chicken, Mayfield, forget about if he can play in the SEC. This man looks legit. When it was 31-14, and then the kicker messed up the kick, the kickoff right before halftime, and he kicked it almost at midfield, and then Georgia right away drove down the field for a little bit longer, kicked the field goal. Instead of going 31-14, they went to 31-17 into halftime, and then from there, many people believe, Georgia got the confidence that needed, and they made it rain in that second half, and they came all the way back. And, took the lead, 37-31? And then that's, I believe, when, or 31-31, they tied it, They went back and forth there for a little bit, And then they ended up going to overtime, 45-45. Both first overtime, both kickers get a field goal. And then in the second one, Georgia wins it. with the run by the running back, and they win the game 54-48. I thought Georgia defense really stepped up in the second half, and those two overtimes limited. In those two overtimes, they limited Oklahoma to only 3 points. I really thought Georgia's defense showed up when it needed to. When they were down 31-14. And then in the second half, they helped be part of the comeback, obviously, 17-point comeback. And like I said, in that overtime, really stepping up and only limiting Oklahoma to 3 points in those two overtimes. So you got to give it them credit. Georgia's defense is legit. And yes, I'm not sure what happened there in that first half. Maybe they were a little bit nervous, had to get their feet wet. Once they settled in that second half, I thought it looked like the Georgia defense we've seen all year. And then it kept, to me, it got even better in extra time, in overtime, when they only limited them to 3 points. So I'm excited for Mayfield. Great career. You're going to the NFL now. Like I said, don't worry. We'll see how good you are in the NFL. Like I said, this was a great game for you, even though you lost. Put up all these points. There's a very tough Georgia defense. SEC, Baker Mayfield, keep your head up, son. You're going to the NFL. Start getting ready for your NFL career, and then we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's talk about this matchup. I am excited for this Georgia-Alabama national championship game. I am really excited. This is going to be fun to watch. Smash Mouth football. Punch you in the mouth. Shut your mouth and I'll punch you right in the mouth. I am excited for this game. Enchilada eating motherfuckers, okay? Forget that fucking macaroni and cheese type shit. These are two enchilada eating motherfucker, frijoles, tamale eating motherfuckers, okay? Smash Mouth football. Run the football and play defense. That is what I like to see. This is what I'm talking. This is championship football, ladies and gentlemen. Forget this whole, we're going to spread the field out. We're going to throw it. We're going to literally try to outscore our opponent. Get the hell out of here. This is what we want to see. Smash Mouth football. And that's what we will see in next week in the national championship game. Two teams that don't give a shit. They run the football and they play defense. That is how you win championships. That is how you win championships. I don't care what you do. Any sport. Championships are about defense. And in football, it's about defense and running the football. That is how you win championships. That is why I think teams like the Vikings have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Teams like the Rams have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Teams like the Saints have a chance to win a Super Bowl. The Steelers, because they run the football and they play defense. Especially the Vikings. So that's the recipe. That's the recipe. Run the football and play defense. It has never changed. It has never changed. You run the football and play defense. Most likely, that's how the Patriots. Do they run the football that much? No, but they always have a good enough defense to do it. In this league, in any sport, football, that's how you play, and that's why these two teams are in there. Sooners, I love them. Mayfield, amazing, but when it comes to playing defense, running the football and play defense, Georgia does it better. Alabama does it better. So this is why they're in the national championship game. So let's see. Should I just pick it right now? I would go with Alabama because of the experience, but I would not be surprised if Georgia wins at all. I think they do have a better running game than Alabama. I'm gonna go with Alabama because of the experience, but I will not be surprised. They tonight between those two running backs, they ran for over 300 yards. So those are they can really run the football. So that's going to be one of the matchups right there. Georgia's running backs versus Alabama's defense. It's going to be a good football game. Obviously, Georgia's quarterback is very young. It's only 19 years old. It's going to be interesting to see. Jalen Hurts has the experience from last year, losing in the national championship game. That's going to be interesting too. This kid, this game that he played tonight versus Oklahoma was good for his confidence and good for his experience. This was a good game right here. Excuse me. This was a good game right here, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good for his confidence. And we'll see what happens. Have a week to prepare. I'm gonna go with Alabama because of the experience. And we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens. But I got Alabama. Let me know. Let me know who you have, and we'll talk about it later. Anybody has a question this week? I don't think so. If you have a question, ask the question, and I'll ask when the topic's over. Guys, one thing that I don't see we see too much of a problem with this, but I'm just gonna say it. Make sure if you have a comment, okay, this is what I want you to do, okay? Like some of you, I understand, are behind on the videos, 2-3 videos behind, 2-3 days behind. All right, so this is what I want to see to make it more easier. When you're 2-3 days behind on the shows, go to the last show I put out there. So if, like, say, you're 2-3 shows behind, and you have something you want to ask me, go to the last show and then put it there. And then it's easier for me, just because sometimes I look at comments, I look at my videos and oh shit, 2-3 videos ago, Chicken Wings put a comment about he has diarrhea, and Ronald, he, I don't know, so make sure, even though if you're, is this shit still on? Yeah, okay, even though you're 2-3 videos behind, it's fine. But when you have a question, put it on the last video I post, all right? So then you can just make it easier for me to look for questions. So tonight, make sure you go to this video, the Georgia-Alabama video, or no, whatever, Oklahoma-Georgia video. Go to that video, and that is where you put your question. If you're behind, maybe you're in the Stanford TCU video from a few days ago. That's fine. But if you have a question, go to the last video I uploaded. And that's where you put the question, okay? That makes it easier for me not to miss the questions, and it makes it easier for me to see the questions right there and now, so then I can answer them. Because maybe you guys ask me some questions, but you guys are 2-3 days behind on the shows, and you ask me a question, maybe I haven't not looked at that show anymore. So I'm always looking at that show, the latest show I posted. So make sure that's where you put your questions. Even maybe, hey, I have not had a chance to watch the show. Who cares? Just click on it, press the pause button, and put your question there. And then when you have time, go watch it. But put the question on the last show I uploaded. So I know. I check my questions every day in the morning and every day at night before I come on the show, on the studio. So every night, every morning, and then at night before I come up here on the air, I check to make sure anybody has a question. So go. That's how we're gonna do it right now. Even if you're 3 days behind, okay, I'm 2-3 videos behind. Watch the video. Okay, I have a question. Okay, I'm gonna go to the last video. Don't watch it. Just click it, put the question, pause it, and when you have time, watch the rest of the shows. Anyways, capisci? All right. Until next time, I'm the man that runs the place. I am CE. I need to shut my mouth. I'm running it too long tonight. I need to shut it. Anyways, I am the man that runs the place. I am CE. What else can I say but thank you? And until next time, I will see you later. What the fuck is happening?